We are continuing our focus on the big tussle between the BJP and the Shiv Sena in Maharashtra. Talks between the two allies came to a virtual standstill. They were on the verge of divorce before young Aditya Thackeray, Uddhav Thackeray's son, stepped in and tried to work a rescue act. Here is Aditya Thackeray speaking exclusively to the TV Today network on why he believes that all is not lost for the BJP-Shiv Sena just yet.
बातचीत जारी थी या जारी नहीं थी तो फिर आंकड़े एक दूसरे को पहुंच रहे कैसे थे? तो ये तो जाहिर है कि बातचीत
मीडिया के जरिए पहुंच रहे थे
नहीं, और काफी लोगों को ऐसा लग रहा था कि बंद है, कोई हो गए महान इधर उधर, लेकिन ये तो जाहिर है कि दोनों लीडरशिप में बातचीत जारी थी और अभी एक अंतिम तारीख आ गई है, तो इसको आगे कैसे लेके जाना, सील करना है महाराष्ट्र के हित में, वही देख रहे हैं।
कौन ज्यादा सीटें लड़ेगा, कौन कम सीटें लड़ेगा, क्या इसको लेकर भी बातचीत होगी या आपको लगता है कि वो मामला बाद में आएगा, पहले एक्सचेंज ऑफ सीट्स को लेकर बात होगी?
ये तो फॉर्मूला अंदरूनी फॉर्मूला है, वो डिस्कस हुआ है, अभी हम जाके उद्धव जी को ब्रीफ करेंगे, उसके आगे चर्चा होगी। लेकिन शिवसेना के मन में महाराष्ट्र का हित है और जो महाराष्ट्र के हित में होगा वही हम करेंगे।
नहीं, लेकिन सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा ये निकल के आ रहा था कि मुख्यमंत्री कौन होगा, ये एक सबसे बड़ा दिक्कत थी। दूसरा, उद्धव जी
कॉन्फ्रेंस में तो तय हो गया।
नहीं, लेकिन उद्धव जी ने ये कहा था कि किसी भी हालत में 150 के नीचे हम नहीं जाएंगे। वहां से बातचीत का बीजेपी कह रही थी कि हमको 119 ही दे रहे हैं, कैसे हमारा काम चलेगा। तो ये बात कहीं ना कहीं खत्म हुई और आगे बात बढ़ी है कि आपको लगता है कि पुराने रिश्तों पर ही आगे बात जो भी है बनती रहे?
जो हमारा मनोदय है, जो बाला साहब ने और महाजन काका ने जो एक अलायंस बनाई है, उसको आगे लेके जाना है। अलायंस ये हिंदुत्व के विषय पर हुई थी, महाराष्ट्र को आगे लेके जाने के हित में हुई थी, महाराष्ट्र के विकास, देश के विकास के हित में हुई थी और ये विकास की आइडियोलॉजी को आगे लेके जाना है। तो जो सही लगेगा वो उद्धव जी करेंगे।
उद्धव जी मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे?
ये महाराष्ट्र की जनता चाहती है, मैं कौन बोलने वाला।
The Shiv Sena is the BJP's oldest ally. It's a 25-year-old alliance, but now it is on the rocks. Will the BJP and the Shiv Sena be able to maneuver their way out of this logjam? Joining us on the center stage face-off tonight, I want to begin by introducing Rajdeep Sardesai, consulting editor at the India Today Group, Ashok Malik, veteran political analyst. Also with us, our Mumbai bureau chief, Sahil Joshi, Shina NC representing the BJP. I want to go across first to Rajdeep. Rajdeep, we've seen the RSS now interview. She's speaking to the TV Today network saying the RSS doesn't want this alliance to fall flat. But senior BJP leaders we are speaking to say there is no clarity, the Shiv Sena is being unreasonable. What is your sense of the latest situation, Rajdeep?
My sense, Rahul, comes from what Bhaiyaji Joshi says. I think it's very clear that the BJP doesn't want to lose the Shiv Sena as an ally. What we've seen over the last few days has been brinkmanship. Not for the first time. It's happened in the past as well. Only difference, Rahul, this time is the stakes are higher because both the parties know that they are now in pole position to form a government in Maharashtra, to form a majority government in Maharashtra. But I get the sense that both sides over the next 48 hours will find a way out of this deadlock. I cannot believe at the moment that this alliance will break because there is so much at stake. And don't be surprised, Rahul, if Narendra Modi himself personally intervenes. I'm told he's already spoken to Nitin Gadkari, and I'm told that over the next 48 hours there will be that high-level attempt made by Modi himself to ensure that before he leaves for the United States next week, the alliance is sorted.
What's the sticking point at this hour, Sahil? Shiv Sena sources were earlier indicating that they were willing to up the number of seats the BJP would fight on. Suddenly they got very adamant and started insisting on 119. What's your sense of where things are right now? We saw Aditya Thackeray, despite his young age, get involved, try and find a solution to this impasse. How far are we from finding a way out of this deadlock, Sahil?
See, finally, both the parties had to agree to come and meet at some third location, and surprisingly, that location was Motilal Oswal's house. Motilal Oswal is a very well-known share broker in Mumbai, and he's very close to BJP leaders as well as the Thackeray family. So, Om Mathur and Aditya Thackeray, with his two leaders from Shiv Sena, had to meet at Motilal Oswal's house. And it is almost like a monsoon wedding where you settle the scores before and then you sit for finalizing the wedding talks, and that's what is happening right now with Shiv Sena and BJP. Both the sides have understood that they have more to lose if they do not go into the alliance. Shiv Sena knows that wherever they are in power, be it Bombay Municipal Corporation, be it Kalyan Municipal Corporation, Aurangabad, or wherever they are in power right now, at the municipal corporation level, it is with with the support of BJP, whereas BJP also understands that Modi's image at stake. So the Maharashtra elections are pretty crucial for them. So they do not want to lose Shiv Sena, the oldest ally with NDA, on some number of seats. So finally, what BJP has done in the meeting with Aditya Thackeray is that they have given one formula and asked Uddhav Thackeray to think over it, and they will be meeting them again. Whereas Uddhav Thackeray has clearly told them that let's first finalize that what seats we need to exchange, where Shiv Sena has never could able to win since 1999, and the same way that BJP could not win since 1999, and the exchange of seats first should discuss, and after that the seat sharing formula will be discussed. But Om Mathur has clearly said that there will be an alliance and number of seats will also be discussed. The smaller partners will have to take the smaller pie, but the Shiv Sena and BJP, who were fighting for the equal, BJP especially was fighting for the equal share in the seat sharing, will have to give up that claim, whereas Shiv Sena will also have to give up some 4-5 seats to satisfy BJP's ego at this point of time, and then the alliance will happen.
The BJP, Rajdeep, seems convinced that the Shiv Sena is being unrealistic and unreasonable. 119 seats for the BJP, they say, is an old formulation which, given what happened in the Lok Sabha, given the relative strength of the party today, simply does not hold. What's the Shiv, since you've been speaking to so many senior leaders from the Shiv Sena, what's their rationale and justification for sticking on and demanding that the BJP fight only on 119 seats, they're at best prepared to give only a few more?
You know, my sense, Rahul, is that these are, you know, you take absolute positions in a negotiating strategy. So you say that the BJP will only get 119, we will contest 153. Please choose. The allies of the BJP, Shiv Sena, will be only given the seats out of the BJP's quota. I think these are hard bargaining positions. Let's be clear. The health of the Shiv Sena is not in the pink of health. Neither is Uddhav Thackeray. The Shiv Sena is also desperate now to come back to power in Mantralaya after almost 20 years. The BJP, as Sahil rightly put it, it is a prestige issue. Narendra Modi has helped them to sweep the general elections. They need to win Maharashtra and win big in Maharashtra. So I think, particularly given what happened in the by-elections just a couple of days ago, I don't think the BJP also wants to take this brinkmanship beyond a point. So I think it is a classic case of two siblings, in a sense, who know that they have to eventually cohabit, but each of them is somehow trying to grab the maximum space possible. I just cannot see why this alliance will eventually break over a few seats, because the number of seats are 5 or 10. I see the BJP eventually settling for 125 and the Shiv Sena getting around 145 to 150 and the allies getting about 13. That's the kind of breakup which eventually will take place. For 5 or 6 seats, I don't see such a critical alliance breaking, particularly an alliance which, as I said, is in pole position to form the next government in Maharashtra.
But China NC, when Sahil says that they want to exchange seats that they haven't won, the BJP going and doing a postmortem and saying these are the seats that you're weak on, those are seats that we need, the Shiv Sena doing the same with the BJP. With just 48 hours to go before nominations are to be filed, this seems like India and Pakistan, much more than two allies who are poised to ride to victory at the Mantralaya.
No, this seems as democracy at its best. There are lots of question marks that come up, but there's no full stop yet. Let me please say, Rahul, that I'd like to first say that I welcome the third generation, the way Aditya came out today to resume the dialogues without any ego. This is something that must be complimented. The dialogue and discussion which is going on as we speak, we're very, very confident that the alliance will take place. However, the question that you raised and everyone raised, do we have political aspirations? Clearly we do. Do we realize our situation in the ground reality? We do. Likewise with Shiv Sena. Now the point is that in the Lok Sabha election, I don't think Shiv Sena or us expected this unprecedented victory. And obviously the people in Maharashtra are fed up of the corrupt Congress and NCP, and they want to replicate that same model that they're seeing in the centre in the home state. Now, how do we arrive at a conclusion on how we're going to proceed? Two things. One is there has to be a discussion on which seats we can win, which seats they can win, and the few seats where there are a deadlock, the discussion can even continue. As far as the Chief Minister's post goes, I am sure that you all know that Modi ji has said that it's the public of Maharashtra that should decide. Whichever party gets the larger numbers will clearly stake claim. I feel the kind of speculation that one is seeing in the media suggesting, oh, we're arrogant if we choose to break the alliance, or we're, accepting defeat if we accept the alliance. All this is only speculation. The reality is we have been with the Shiv Sena for 25 years. The reality is when we started,
there is a big problem, Ashok Malik, and that's a problem that no one is willing to acknowledge publicly. The fact that Gopinath Munde is no more, the fact that Nitin Gadkari is in is at the center, the Shiv Sena complains they don't really have any BJP leader of stature whom they can talk to. Sena leaders have been telling us none of the people they are sending to talk to us will even win a municipal election. That's their position on some of the state level BJP leaders. Now that's a big problem, that the BJP doesn't have a face who can hold this talk together, who can talk to Uddhav Thackeray as an equal. How does this impact, Ashok, in your view, the BJP-Shiv Sena alliance going into this big poll, which is theirs to win?
You know, I think the Shiv Sena is protesting too much. The fact is...
Go on, Ashok.
I think the Shiv Sena is protesting too much. This is certainly the BJP's moment. This moment may not come again for the BJP. If the BJP wants to rewrite its contract with the Shiv Sena after 20 odd years, it needs to do it now. It may not. It needs to do it after the 2014 Lok Sabha election with Modi still very popular. Do remember these murmurs and these rumblings with Nitin Gadkari demanding more seats from the Shiv Sena, and in fact talking of tying up with the MNS and Raj Thackeray rather than Uddhav Thackeray, were all heard in 2009 as well, when the senior generation, Mr. Advani and Mr. Bal Thackeray, set things in order. And Mr. Advani famously said that while Bala Saheb is around and is alive, let's not disturb this alliance. Now this is the first election after Bala Saheb Thackeray's death. There's a new generation, a more assertive generation in power in the BJP. The Shiv Sena feels that the BJP doesn't have senior leaders in the state after the death of Gopinath Munde. That may be true. But the fact is, in Mumbai city, which is the Shiv Sena's bastion, the Shiv Sena wouldn't have won the number of seats it won without the Modi wave. There were many people who had never voted for Shiv Sena earlier who actually voted for Mr. Modi and got Shiv Sena MPs elected. The BJP certainly feels that with the urban voter at least behind it in a big way across the country, perhaps not as much as May 26, but certainly it's still there in a big way, it can demand more seats. It may not be in a position to drive as hard a bargain.
No, but this is a real problem, Rajdeep. The fact that you don't have Gopinath Munde, the fact that Nitin Gadkari doesn't have good relations with Matoshri, that's a real problem. And Uddhav Thackeray doesn't like speaking to the likes of Devendra Fadnavis or Vinod Tavade. He thinks that they're not senior enough.
You know, Rahul, the fact is both these parties, both the Shiv Sena and the BJP, have serious problems within. They are not as strong in Maharashtra as they perhaps even were a decade ago. What happened in these 2014 elections in May was there was a Narendra Modi factor. There was also the anger against the centre. There was a fact that there was an incremental vote which switched to the Shiv Sena BJP alliance. There were intelligent alliances that they struck with the likes of Raju Shetty. All the various factors came in favor of the Shiv Sena BJP alliance and they swept the state. There was also Ajit Pawar, who they should be sending a thank you note for his ridiculous comments that he made, and the fact that the Congress NCP was tagged as a corrupt party. But none of this, Rahul, can hide the fact that the BJP today lacks a strong local leadership, that the Shiv Sena under Uddhav Thackeray is not the Shiv Sena that it was under Bal Thackeray. These are actually both parties at the local level which are not as strong as they were. So the only way in which they can actually repeat what they did in May is to come together, because the Congress NCP, if anything, is in an even worse position. So this is, in that sense, an opportune moment for them to come together. If the BJP believe they can strike out on their own just now and win a majority, they are living in a fool's paradise.
Stay with me. Devendra Fadnavis, who's the BJP state unit chief for Maharashtra, is joining us now exclusively on Headlines Today. Mr. Fadnavis, you've been closely involved in these parleys between the BJP and the Shiv Sena. Now you've been at it for so long. This is a 25-year-old alliance. Are you set to move towards a break point? Are you hopeful that you'll be able to fight the election together?
See, right now the situation is that we have given a proposal to Shiv Sena. The proposal is with Shiv Sena. The ball is in their court. We are hopeful that they will revert back with a positive note, because we have given them workable proposal. Their earlier proposal, which was informally given to us, we have told them that that is not workable. A workable proposal has been given, and we have been assured that on that proposal, a meeting would be held with Shiv Sena Chief Uddhav Ji. We are hopeful that we will not end this alliance. We will take it forward.
What do you think is an acceptable formulation for you? The Shiv Sena says you have 119 seats. That's the number you must contest. At most, they're willing to increase it by a handful of seats. You were originally demanding that there be an equal seat-sharing alliance between the BJP and the Shiv Sena. Have you also now come down from that original demand, sir?
I would say that 119 was never accepted by us. It was rejected at the face of it. Now a workable proposal, which I cannot share on the media, has been given to Shiv Sena, and we are hopeful because we have been into alliance for so many years. So we know at what point we can come together. So I think that a workable proposal has been given, and we are waiting for their response.
This alliance almost broke today before young Aditya stepped in and tried to mend the fences. Now that just shows how volatile things are in the Mahayuti. You haven't yet been able to bring your allies on board. How many seats, who will fight? That question still remains unresolved. 48 hours to go for nominations. You don't seem to be a fighting unit just as yet, if at all you're fighting amongst yourselves, sir.
No, I don't think so. It always happens. We are, we are different parties. So when we come to table, when we come to talk, every party feels that it should get a proper share, it should get a more share, it should get a fair share. So this has always happened, but I feel that now that BJP has taken a positive step, we have given a workable proposal to Shiv Sena. Shiv Sena will consider it, and in next few hours or say a day's time, we will be able to close the talks, we will be able to finish the talks, and we will be able to come to a conclusion.
One of the factors that is unstated but clearly playing on the minds of Shiv Sena leaders is the fear of sabotage, which is why they are demanding an extra number of seats so that the gap between the Shiv Sena and the BJP is enough to ensure the Shiv Sena ends up with more seats than you. Clearly, there are people within the Shiv Sena who think that in an attempt to ensure that you end up as the largest party, you might go to the extent of sabotaging the prospects of some Shiv Sena leaders.
I don't think so, because we have never, last 25 years we have been into alliance, and we have never sabotaged, because we know that our political rivalry or political enemy is Congress and NCP, not Shiv Sena. Shiv Sena is our friend. So we would always like a Shiv Sena nominee to win instead of Congress or NCP.
Okay.
So I don't think that this logic is true. We have always been truthful to our alliance partners.
I'm going to leave it over there. Devendra Fidnavis for joining us. Thank you very much. I want to go across to Ashok Malik. He says a reasonable formulation has been suggested to the Shiv Sena. 119, he says, publicly is not acceptable. What do you think this reasonable formulation could be that would be okay with the BJP? You know,
obviously, a sort of 140 equal situation is not possible, especially because they are smaller allies to accommodate. Something on the lines of what Rajdeep suggested, a figure between 125 and 130 for the BJP would, I presume, be acceptable, because the BJP believes is going to have a higher strike rate, a higher conversion of seats contested to seats won than the Shiv Sena, and that would bring it within spelling distance of the Shiv Sena's tally, maybe even a bit higher, and it could perhaps negotiate for the Chief Minister's position after the election. Right. But with 153 and 119, the Shiv Sena is likely to win more seats anyway, so then you're giving away the game.
In the Lok Sabha elections in May, the BJP strike rate in Maharashtra was 96%. The Shiv Sena strike rate was 90. That gives them confidence that they'll be able to score more wins, and that's why the Shiv Sena wants to keep the gap between the two bigger. For the time being, Rajdeep Sardesai, Shaina NC, Ashok Malik and Sahil Joshi for joining us on Center Stage tonight. Thank you very much.